I didn't go to art school. I just make this stuff up as we go. And hundreds of thousands of people watch. All right, let's scrub up a little bit of this mixture, right? Scrape it up. You get all of that gorgeous stuff, mix of all those different colors. And then maybe somewhere down here, I don't want to make it too crazy of a mountain. So let's come over here. Maybe it peaked right there. A little bit of a peak, up, down, whichever way you turn it. Right? This guy was over here. Maybe grew down that way. Who knows? You get this cool little thing happening down here. Scrape up all this extra paint because we don't need all that paint. You can be rough with that canvas too. Maybe put some down here. Wherever you put any paint is where it's going to come out when you pull it out with your brush, right? Let's take that 1-inch brush like that. Come over here, grab the side, pull it out. That's all you got to do. You're like, oh, what happened over there? It's okay. Pull it over, fill that little section in. Right? Come down here. Slide down. But we're not sliding straight down. It's not a vertical thing. It's not a 45 degree. You kind of come down and then you pick where you want it to hit and slide out. Maybe that side was over here. Or we had this side come down this way. Maybe if we stick a little bit more dark paint right here, might have this little bit of a ridge off that side. Just a little shadowy ridge as we pull it down, right? And you can start to see our little mountain coming together. Right? Maybe this guy came down, and everything, get all that to light up, and you have to start to plan it out in your mind. Where's the snow going to be, or the light, or wherever? Maybe this guy was straight down, and then he came over here. It's like a cliff. Go down, pull it. Wherever you pull with your brush is what it's going to look like, right? Imagine that. Very cool little thing. A multi 3D. Whoop, there we go. Come out the top. That's all right. Go back and fix it. You can leave some areas light. Whatever you want it to look like. Maybe, I don't know, if I have shadow back there, a little bit of that darker in here. We'll have some down there. I don't want that to be straight. I want there to be a little bit of hill in there, like a little valley. That would be cool. That could fill up, have our little bit of darkness, right? Just start to play it out in your mind. Where do you think it's going to hit? Where's the color? What's it going to look like? How much shadow, right? And that's just that same mountainy color that we made. That's not our shadowy highlight. So let's take a little bit of blue, a little bit of white, and mix those guys up. And then take a little bit of that dark grayish, blackish paint and mix it in there. And that way it becomes a little dulled, right? Scrape it up over here. Maybe on that shadowy side, right over the top of all of that dark paint. Start to swipe it down. Oh, it's so neat. Look at that. It starts to grow. These will be our little shadowy bits in the front. Very cool. We're not covering over all the shadows. We're not doing anything like that, right? And then we can decide where we want it to be. Maybe off here. On the back side of this guy, that's very bright. There we go. That's why you gotta scrape it up sometimes. All the way to the bottom, Joshy. There we go. Maybe that whole thing's lit up in white. Maybe you got a little piece of it off back there. Who knows? Who knows what it looks like? Maybe there was a little smidge in here, right? And if it's not there when you go back and cover it over again, that's okay. It doesn't have to be there. You can end up covering that whole thing. So let's grab up the rest of our white over here. Just whatever thick. It's all hard and gross because we haven't painted in a couple days. There we go. Look at that. At least we haven't used that section of white. That's okay. It'll be a lot of texture back there. Grab up the littlest bit of blue, mix it in with that guy. Smallest little bit. Because you don't want it to be pure white. At least I don't. I want it to be a little bit off-white. Scrape it up like that. A good amount. And maybe we'll come over here and just start bouncing it in. Look at it. Following along the edges. Slide it down. You can just imagine a whole little avalanche coming down. You get covered. Oh, it's amazing. Skip that little area of blue. Come over here. Slide it down. Let it break off of our knife in different ways. All right, I want to cover just the top of that if I can. If we leave a little shadow, that's cool. Holy crap. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Slide it up into here. Guess I'm doing something that you like. Make sure you're tapping the screen. Take some from the top. Pull it down. Little things. And that way you get different little shadows and it's not a perfect thing. Fantastic. Fantastic. I cannot get over how much I like this little guy right here. Take this one, we're going sideways back into that valley where we had connected, right? Get some of those shadows to drag down. Don't want it to be too bright back there, right? Maybe along the edge over here, we had a whole nother little ridge. Oh, that's fantastic right there. Look at it just build itself. It's just growing down and down and down. We got a little over here, a little off the backside, just so it's not so perfect, right? You'll have differences in color back there. Maybe back here it starts to light up a little bit more. Watch, I'll flip my knife over and use what's on the other side. Who cares? Let it blend in. Oh, wow, look at that. Remember, if you
Hey,
guys are liking what I'm doing,
can you check your
give me some
phone
love.
and make sure that the charger is actually all the way in? You keep glitching, and I want to make sure your phone's not dying.
No, yeah, it's plugged in. It is plugged in and charging. There we
Okay.
go. Cool little areas, guys, where the light might just not reach all the way. You have that nice little thing. Wow, that is a gorgeous looking mountain. We'll come down here. Very neat. Bunch of different angles, differences. That's what we're worried about. And it's different. We had a little bit on that guy. Gonna show his way. Just a little thing though. And then you never want to have too much of the same color. So go back, put those little blue shadows in. We don't need to see him. He's very, very, very far away. Very far away. Very lightly. A couple little things. It's a wicked cool little mountain. That's neat. All right, now we're going to take this, our 2-inch brush, because we don't have a whole lot of room at the bottom. Very lightly going to swipe it up in the direction that we came down, right? If we came down this way, I'm going to swipe it up. If you came down, I came to the side, and then if you came down and went like that, then you need to go like this and go back up. Does that make sense? Very lightly, because this brush, I'm barely holding it first, barely hanging on to it. It would fall out of my hand. And I don't want it to make contact with every piece of paint that's on the canvas. Let's get a little bit of our dark paint like that. Maybe there was a bit more darkness down here around the bottom to begin with. And then I can pull that up into the paint at the same angles. See what I mean? Just kind of, that liquid white really wants to lighten up all the paint that we put on. And the more you work something or the more that you pull or push at something, see how I turn my brush? We're going back the other way now. All the same angles with whatever we're working with down here. That's what I'm trying to maintain. Right? So maybe on this side of that white, we had that deep, darker, shadowy area. Just came down. The more and more we blend it, there's no shadowy highlights here. It's just undercolor, right? Just the undercolor. And maybe up here, I don't want to go touch my brush right here. It's going to leave a big straight line in my brush, right? So maybe we come from back here like this, and you feed it back up into the mountain. And that way you're not damaging this little bit of breakage paint that you have, right? Very cool. Back up into it, same angles, and then pull away. Get to where your thick paint is, pull away. It's almost like a circle. You're just hitting it a little bit as you go, making your rounds, right? Come over to down here. A little bit more of that. Pulling at a different angle, though. See, these swipes are at a different angle than those swipes. It makes every difference. I like to think of it like a clock. If I'm going around the painting and I've got 5 o'clock, 5:10, 5:20, 5:30, 5:40, 5:50, and then 6 o'clock, you know what I mean? You break it up. You don't have to go, 1 o'clock up here. You don't have to use that section, but unless you're doing something around the top. But, I like to pull in from those angles. That will keep everything perspectively right. If I started pulling in, or if I'm just pulling straight up from over here, or just pulling straight down, it's not going to look like that. It's not. It's going to look however I'm pulling my brush. So you have to be careful with whatever you're doing. All right, all your little brush angles have to make sense. What if there's a little darker bit back in here? Just a little. Put that dark paint down. Swipe out him just so lightly, though, because again, we're only using those 2 colors. So if you push too hard, it's going to blend away to the other colors, right? We don't want that to happen. Very cool. Another little dark section that we can then come again with our white and maybe come down here. There was a little bit of light got hit down there. However you see it in your head. You know what I mean? Little section. And then maybe underneath that guy, if we can get any more of that blue paint, mix up that shadowy blue paint down here. Mix it in with a little bit of that gray paint, remember? Keep it nice and dark, but a little bit kind of light bluish gray underneath this guy. swipe down a whole nother little bit of shadowy color. There we go. And now you've got a little ledge kind of sitting out there like a glacier. Very cool. Very cool. Once you've done that too, you can always go back. So you came out a little bit over the edge, right? It doesn't have to be the straightest thing. Go back, grab some of that paint. Maybe make it a little bit darker this time. Get some of that darker paint. There we go. Little differences. Little things. What do you
Jenny,
see in yours that's different?
Jenny says it kind of looks like a really angry ocean. From one perspective,
Oh,
I
like
can see that.
with
It's so
water?
cool. Yeah, yeah, like just
Yeah,
open sea. It's so
that's very
cool.
cool.
I see the mountain, but I can see the ocean. That's crazy.
All in how you do it, right? There we go. Very lightly again, depending where you want to see. What do you want to have in focus? Very cool. I could stick a tree right over here too. Always fun to paint a happy little tree, right? That's very cool though. Very textured little mountain. I like it. I'm glad you guys like
John
it.
John Evely said hi.